Hi, I'm Andrew Weeks, and I love, 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 love photographing weddings. Um, there are some things about wedding photography and weddings that I don't love. And one of the main ones, one of my biggest pet peeves, is when a wedding feels like a photo shoot with a wedding on the side. We've all been there, or we've heard nightmare stories. That the couple, the bride and groom, the bride, the groom. The couple have said their I do's, have given their kisses, and have walked down the aisle. And all the attendees and guests cannot wait to get back there and surround them with love, kisses, hugs, celebratory high fives, and blessings. But by the time they get back there, the couple, the bridal party, and maybe even the extended family have gone missing. Where could they be? What has happened to them? Well, they're off on their bridal party and bride and groom portraits, and maybe now an hour has passed, and these attendees, these guests, are now in your cocktail hour. They're enjoying cocktails, they're enjoying some small conversation, but the reason why they're there, the couple, is not there. So the energy starts to dissipate. That energy of wanting to give hugs and love and celebratory high fives, it started changing into, where are they? I'm hungry. When is this party going to start? And that's not the energy or vibe you want running through your wedding at any time, right? Now we think about what's going on with the bride and groom, or the groom and groom, or the bride and bride, the couple, and their bridal party, and the van or the trolley or the limo that they've rented to gallivant them around town to the different portrait spots. Well, first portrait stop, perfect. Everyone's 110% in it to win it. Lots of smiles, goes great. But by the second stop, well, things have started to change. Maybe some in your bridal party have decided to truly, truly appreciate and take you up on the offer, your generous offer of the stocked bar or stocked cooler in the back of the limo. Maybe the first stop, or maybe the first stop was windy and maybe a little chilly, and so now people's hair, is a little more worn, a little more windblown, maybe a little less photo ready, and people are getting worried about that. Maybe there's traffic. Worse yet, maybe there's been an accident and now you're sitting on the expressway in a traffic jam. In my 20 plus years of wedding photography experience, you'll be surprised at the stories I can tell. Um, and there's no reason to put yourself through that stressful situation. No matter what, by the second or third stop, the bride and groom are no longer fully invested in the portraits. They're more stressed. They're thinking about other things. They're thinking about their bridal party, about how they are holding up, how's their hair, how are they looking. They're thinking about, wow, are we going to get back in time for a little bit of our cocktail hour? Is grandma and grandfather still going to be energized when I see them? They're also thinking, hey, I spent a lot of money, or we spent a lot of money on making sure this cocktail hour and the reception look beautiful, and the hors d'oeuvres and the drinks and everything is fantastic. Maybe we'd like to be there and enjoy some of it. Well, those are good feelings to have. Those are sensible feelings to have. I agree with all those feelings. And I think you should listen to those feelings, and part of it is changing the mindset of what the photography is about for your day. You have to remember that photography is not part of the story of your day. It's supposed to tell the story of your day, and I know it's like, it's only words, but the words have meaning, and like the photography should not be the most memorable part of your day. It should not put a big effect and footstep on your day. It should simply tell your day and tell your experience of experiencing, one of the best, most amazing days of your life with the love of your life, surrounded by people who love you more than anything. And once you change that mindset, then it's time to start thinking about the locations and the timing for these portraits. And you work with your photographer and you work with your planner, God bless wedding planners, to really find the perfect time and location for these portraits. Now, location and time are important for lots of reasons. Location, the obvious one is you want to make sure it's beautiful, that the background's something that you like, that you want to have in the background of your portraits for your wedding day. Duh. But location's also important because, you want to make sure it fits within the logistics of your day. You don't want to pick a location that is a half hour away from your reception site. That half hour, those 30 minutes, who knows? There's traffic, there are accidents, there are things that can happen that are just going to add stress to your day. And there's no reason to put that wild card, to place that wild card, in the deck of your wedding day hand. It's just don't do it. There are plenty of amazing and beautiful spots that can be found in any city you're getting married in or any place you're getting married in that'll fit in a nice, timely, logistical way into your wedding timeline. Uh, Timing wise, well, timing means everything as far as lighting goes. If you choose a beautiful, perfect location for a late afternoon portrait session, but the sun is going to be setting at the same time behind you, well, that's going to be great for some like dramatic portraits or silhouette portraits, but it's actually terrible, terrible lighting for portraits, you know? And so you really got to make sure that the location and the timing sync up for lighting purposes. You also want to make sure the timing fits into the timing of your day. You know, like I said, you don't want to add those half-hour travel times. You don't want to add a ton of time in the middle to dissipate the energy of your wedding. And it might sound complicated, but it's really not, especially when you work with your photographer and your wedding planner. So make sure you have conversations with them leading up to your wedding to make sure you can find the right time and right location for your wedding day portraits, but that you only have to dedicate a certain amount of time to them so you can really enjoy your wedding.